Hey everybody, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. We're constantly updating it with new content and never seen before content. So if you want to get the latest from Harvest, hit the subscribe button. Daniel was a man who was spiritual. That stands out in the story. And I might also add that this was a man who was living a spiritual life in a very unspiritual place. Babylon. This was idol central, rampant idolatry and immorality and cruelty. And yet, here was Daniel in the midst of all this, in this luxurious palace. But despite all those allurements and temptations and enticements, Daniel remained righteous and even grew spiritually. Sometimes I think we might believe that the way to be strong spiritually is to always be surrounded by Christians. And I think it's very important that we go out of our way to be with our Christian brothers and sisters and spend time in fellowship. But maybe we want to sort of put ourselves in a Christian bubble, and we want to put our kids in a Christian school, and we want to have a job at a Christian workplace and be surrounded by believers. And though that's a wonderful thing, not all of us have that luxury. Maybe some of you have found yourself in a very godless environment, surrounded by people that have no regard for the things of the Lord, and you wonder, can I survive in such a place spiritually? The answer is yes. If Daniel could, you sure can. And Daniel was able to not only survive, but to flourish. Here's what can happen when you're surrounded by non-believers. You have one of two choices. You can either kind of blend into the woodwork and do your best to not rock the boat and in effect perhaps even compromise your beliefs, or you can stand up and be counted. I heard the story of some problems they were having in shipping codfish from the East Coast to the West Coast, because when it arrived, it was spoiled. So they tried freezing it, but when it arrived, it was mushy to the taste. So they tried to send it live, but when it arrived, it was dead. Then someone came up with a bright idea to put the enemy of the codfish in the crate when it was shipped, which was the catfish. And that's what they did. And by the time they arrived, they were alive and well because they'd been running from the catfish the whole time. And people who ate that codfish said it was the best they had ever tasted. So what's the point? Maybe God has put a catfish in your tank to keep you alive and well spiritually. You know, the one person that's always hassling you. It might even be your mom or dad. Or it might even be your brother, your sister. It might be that person that sits next to you in school or works next to you on the work site, or has a cubicle next to you at your office, or it's a neighbor that's right next door or in front of you or behind you, and they're like that catfish in effect, but God can use it to get you stronger spiritually. Daniel was a spiritual man in a very unspiritual place.